You probably already know that other than the second trailer, Rockstar gave us a ton of information. They gave us short descriptions about some characters that we saw in the trailer and even some that didn't appear there. And they also gave us 70 screenshots, which is a lot, because many people were really upset that we didn't get anything for more than 500 days since trailer 1. Of course, the game got delayed, everyone became even more sad, but now many fans are saying that Rockstar should take their time, because what we saw in the second trailer and screenshots, it's absolutely amazing. The game looks insane, I'm going to be making even more breakdowns, but in this video we're going to go over the characters and their descriptions. We are going to start with one thing that I didn't mention in my trailer 2 breakdown. In the very beginning of the trailer, where Jason is standing on the roof and Brian leaving the car to speak to Jason, some people pointed out that Jason said, "Oh, just fixing some leaks."
What you doing up there? Just fixing some leaks.
Which is obviously a straight joke towards the leaks that happened in 2022. And it's really cool to see that Rockstar are acknowledging them and not taking them seriously, but in a funny way, which is really cool and I love it. So now let's begin breaking down screenshots and talking about the characters. So let's start with Jason. His last name is Duval, which is actually a county in Florida. Jason wants an easy life, but things just keep getting harder. Jason grew up around grifters and crooks. After a stint in the army trying to shake off his troubled teens, he found himself in the Keys doing what he knows best. Working for local drug runners, it might be time to try something new. Meeting Lucia could be the best or worst thing that ever happened to him. Jason knows how he would like it to turn out, but right now it's hard to tell. This was the short description, but before we start to break down screenshots, I want to say that Jason was in the army, so it might mean something because there were some things in the trailer, some moments where people thought that Jason might actually be an undercover cop, especially the moment when a policeman in jail asks if he has seen Jason, which could point out that he was a cop or an inmate in the jail where Lucia was taken from, but it's not clear, it's just speculation. Now let's talk about the screenshots. The first one is Jason standing with the phone by the tree on an ocean drive. This screenshot looks absolutely amazing. Nightlife, all those neon lights, his phone, his iconic watch that he wears in almost every shot. He's also wearing a Hawaiian shirt and Jason just looks absolutely amazing. We can also see a supercar and a bunch of NPCs. Then we see a screenshot of Jason on a bike called Alvina V1. It's a green bike, looks absolutely amazing with palm trees in the back. We can see Jason has a pistol in his hand, a black tank top with glasses, and just look at the reflections on the glasses and just how the lightning plays on his skin, it looks great. In this screenshot we see Jason behind the wheel, again palm trees in the back, he has a longer hair and a longer beard in this shot. His white tank top says Leonidas with a small silver chain that he wears. This particular shot is interesting because we can see Jason actually fishing, which confirms fishing is in the game as it was in Red Dead Redemption 2. And actually he's fishing with his friend called Hampton, who is looking somewhere through his binoculars. We can also see some bears, they are on a yacht, probably in Leonidas Keys. And again, Jason is with longer hair here and his green glasses, which look absolutely amazing. Here we can see Jason with an AR, assault rifle. The lightning in the shot looks great. He has shorter hair and in the background we can see Vice City skyscrapers and lots of lights. Overall, it looks amazing. In this screenshot we can see Jason in a bar with Hampton and two angry guys are approaching them from behind. Obviously Jason does not see them, but Carl is touching Jason by the shoulder, tipping him off that there is a problem. We can also see Ogre Bear, Patriot Bear, some money and a cigarette ashtray. Again he's in the tank top with silver chain and look at his cap. It says Brian's Boatworks and Marina, and Brian, as we already know, is the mission giver and Carl as well as Jason are working for him. Now let's move to Lucia Caminos. Lucia's father taught her to fight as soon as she could walk. Life has been coming her swinging ever since. Fighting for her family landed her in Leonidas Penitentiary. Sheer luck got her out. Lucia's learned her lesson, only smart moves from here. More than anything, Lucia wants the good life her mom has dreamed of since their days in Liberty City. But instead of half-baked fantasies, Lucia is prepared to take matters into her own hands. Fresh out of prison and ready to change the odds in her favor, Lucia is committed to her plan no matter what it takes. A life with Jason could be her way out. So in the first screenshot we can see Lucia punching a punching bag, obviously in the gym, which confirms that gyms are back. We also saw that in the second trailer when Jason was doing some exercises on the beach. We can also see a golden chain in the form of boxing glove on Lucia's neck, and you can actually see some type of AirPods in her ears as well, which looks absolutely amazing. And it could also mean that we could listen to music outside of cars. In the next shot we can see Lucia chilling in the pool, Jason is in the background in blue shorts. We can see Lucia again with AirPods in both ears. She also has some earrings. The skin looks absolutely amazing, tanned or wet, but still looks very realistic. We also see a glass of some cocktail, alcohol or lemonade. I'm not really sure, but it's with a strawberry. You can see the reflections on the water, on the glass, even on her glasses. There is a towel on the right and a phone nearby. Overall, this scene looks amazing. In here we can see Lucia in prison with some other inmates. What stands out is the new hairstyle of Lucia, which I personally really love because I think she looks amazing with it. Other than that, we see tattoos on other inmates and a big variety of hairstyles that are going to be in the game. Here we can see that Lucia is in a nightclub. She wears a yellow dress with a golden necklace shaped like boxing glove again. It is probably her iconic jewelry that we'll see throughout the game because her father taught her how to fight. We can also see that she has a different hairstyle here and some makeup. She holds a phone in her hand and NPCs around her with different hairstyles and new tattoos we haven't seen before. I believe that this screenshot is probably from some type of mission because Lucia is hiding from someone. A guy with a flashlight on his pistol approaches her. She is hiding in what seems to be a container, but it's pretty interesting. In this screenshot, Lucia is sitting on a yellow bike in front of a liquor bar. She wears a leather jacket, leggings, white top with her iconic hairstyle, and a golden necklace again. We can also see a cat that sits on the roof of the building in the background, and the cup where it reads Gloriana, possibly referring to Georgia, but it's just a speculation. Carl Hampton. What if everything on the internet was true? Jason's friend and a fellow associate of Brian's, Carl feels safest hanging at home snooping on the Coast Guard comms with a few beers and some private browser tabs open. The psychopaths are in charge, get used to it. Carl is at the low tide of America and happy there. Casual paranoia loves company, but his friend Jason has bigger plans. So I think that Carl is some type of Lester, but in GTA 6. Now let's move to screenshots. Right here we can see that Carl is with Jason with bags doing something. He wears a pretty funny t-shirt that says violence is cool, thanks video games, and it seems that they are leaving Brian's Boatworks and Marina, the place where they work. We can also see palm trees, grass, cones, and again look at Jason's hair, it's long again. This shot is really beautiful because Carl is in a golf club. We can see crocodiles and alligators around, but just the statues of them. He wears an interesting Hawaiian shirt with aliens, a necklace, and has a golf club. This also means that golf is back and it's amazing. And it's not just golf, there is a literal small town for golfing, and I really love how it's done. Right here we can see Carl in a bar with Jason playing snooker. Jason is with longer hair and beard in this shot, and Carl is watching him. It means that snooker game is back from San Andreas and GTA 4, which is an amazing addition. We can also see a TV showing an entertainment park entrance shaped like an alligator, which looks great. Or it could be that golf club I was talking about before. This shot is really cool because we can see Carl casually chilling in the pool on an inflatable flamingo with empty drink cans around him. And just look at the detail, you can even see bubbles from those empty cans. And pay attention that he has an inflatable flamingo cup holder with a pineapple cocktail. Now let's move to the character that we heard about from the leaks. Booby Ike. It's all about Heart, the Jack of Hearts. Booby is a local Vice City legend and acts like it. One of the few to transform his time in the streets into a legitimate empire spanning real estate, a strip club and a recording studio. Booby's all smiles until it's time to talk business. Top quality cuts. Booby might seem like he's just out for himself, but it's his partnership with the young aspiring music mogul Dre'Quan Priest for only raw records that he is most invested in. Now they just need a hit. So in this screenshot I think that we can see Booby sitting in his cabinet in his strip club Jack of Hearts. He has a modified gun on his table, a bunch of jewelry like chains, watch, rings, a stack of money in his hand, expensive looking clothing, some glasses, and he looks pretty clean and chill. We can also see some pictures in the background and his cabinet looks good. Again, he is in his strip club with a bunch of chains, with a double cup, maybe sipping lean, I'm not sure. He also has some golden teeth, earrings, and again with the same type of beard and hairstyle. In this screenshot we can see Booby and Dre'Quan Priest, another character that I'm gonna be talking about soon. They are standing in front of Jack of Hearts strip club. Booby has a phone in his hand, with chains again, in a white short, the glasses that we saw in the first screenshot, and let's look at Dre'Quan Priest. He has a golden chain, some type of expensive looking sweatshirt and glasses, dreads, and he looks pretty clean. I cannot tell what car this is, but we can also see the security in the background and some NPCs that are having a talk and drinking something. And the final screenshot of Booby, he is again in his strip club with actual strippers around him with money flying. We can see an arm holding a stack of money, as well as champagne on the left with some fireworks, Jack of Hearts logo in the back, and Booby again with his chains, glasses in the same white short that we saw in the previous shot, and he is obviously having a good time in his own business, as you know. So yeah, this shot looks pretty nice. I really want to visit that place in the game. Dre'Quan Priest, only raw records. Dre'Quan was always more of a hustler than a gangster. Even when he was dealing on the streets to make ends meet, breaking into music was the goal. You are with the label now. Now that he signed the Real Dimez, Dre'Quan's days of booking acts into Booby's strip club might be numbered as he sets his own sights on the Vice City scene. So from this we know that Booby is the boss of Dre'Quan, and Dre'Quan just signed Real Dimez, which are a band of girls that we will talk about shortly. And now as he signed them, he wants to separate from Booby. So in the first screenshot we can actually see him in the Jack of Hearts strip club with girls, the band of girls called Real Dimez. The one on the left is called Roxy, and the other one on the right is actually Bay Lux. So those are the girls that we are going to be talking about in a few short seconds, but let's take a look at Dre'Quan. We see some chains, a lot of new clothing and hairstyles, and look at Dre'Quan, he also has some type of a hat. Moving to the next shot, we can see Dre'Quan in some type of pool party where he's in a beautiful blue classic costume holding a glass of alcohol, golden chain, golden watch and glasses. In this shot we can actually Dre'Quan in action in the studio, and we can actually see an application on the computer. It looks a lot like FL Studio. It's pretty detailed, and the details of that computer just look absolutely amazing and really well done. We can also see only raw records on the screen of some type of notebook, MacBook, and Dre'Quan wears a Manatees jersey, which is a sports team. Again, we can see golden chain, golden jewelry, and the guy on the right is probably his beatmaker. In the last screenshot we can see Dre'Quan in what seems to be Jack of Hearts strip club again. He's just standing there with a double cup looking somewhere, and we can see a bunch of NPCs around him like strippers, and everything looks pretty good. Now let's move to girls that I was talking about. Real Dimez. Viral videos, viral hooks. Bay Lux and Roxy aka Real Dimez have been friends since high school. Girls were savvy to turn their time shaking down local dealers into cold, hard cash via spicy rap tracks and a relentless social media presence. One hit away from fame, an only hit single with local rapper Down Player took Real Dimez to new heights. Now after 5 years and a whole lot of trouble, they are signed to only Raw Records, hoping lightning can strike twice. In the first screenshot we can actually see Bay Lux. She's sitting in the studio. Look at all the things. We can see a lamp, a fan, headphones, speakers, and a lot of music making hardware. Look at her clothing, it looks absolutely amazing. The jewelry as well and the hairstyles. It just, I don't know, I really love it. In this shot we can actually see Roxy and Dre'Quan Priest in the car. Roxy is taking control of the car. We can see that the interior of the car is red and the car itself is purple. And look at Roxy, she has a lot of jewelry. Okay, so in this shot it's actually the car I was probably talking about. The purple car is a GTA version of Audi. We have a bunch of NPCs holding phones. We can actually see the interface of phones, and the one that is actually recording Real Dimez dancing on the car. Again, look at clothing. A bunch of NPCs with different hairstyles, different body types. We can see Vice City buildings in the back, and it's actually happening in front of Jack of Hearts. If you pay close attention to the NPC on the right, you can see some GTA version of Nike Air Jordans and the Adidas shorts on another NPC. In the final screenshot we can see both Roxy and Bay Lux in the studio performing in front of microphones, and I think it looks very detailed and realistic. Now let's move to Raul Batista. Experience counts. Confidence, charm and cunning. Raul's a seasoned bank robber, always on the hunt for talent, ready to take the risk that brings the biggest rewards. A professional adapts. Raul's reckless just raises the stakes with every score. Sooner or later his crew will have to double down or pull their chips from the table. So from this description we can take that Raul has no limits, he wants more and more with every score, and he could probably be the reason why Jason and Lucia could get in trouble. So look at the first screenshot. It looks amazing. Raul Batista heavily reminds me of Brad Pitt in the Bullet Train movie. So as I said before, this guy is going to set us up with big scores like Robin Banks, and this character could actually be a fan favorite one. And again, this shot reminds me of Wolf of the Wall Street when he was on a yacht talking with some feds. If you pay attention to the background, you can actually see drawbridges. In this screenshot we can see Raul with a bag of money, a pistol in his left hand, and he's steering the wheel with his right hand, going somewhere, presumably from the robbery. He's just escaping it. In this last screenshot of Raul, we can see him in a white costume with black short. Again, a lot of neon lights of the city. We can see a helicopter in the back, some cop cars in the back as well, and this character just looks really brutal and manly. Our last character for today is Brian Hedam. Nothing better than a mudslide at sunset. Brian's a classic drug runner from the golden age of smuggling in the Keys, still moving product through his boatyard with his third wife, Lori. Brian's been around long enough to let others do his dirty work. Looks like a Leonida beach bum. Moves like a great white shark. Brian's letting Jason live rent-free at one of his properties, so long as he helps with local shakedown and stops by for Lori's sangria once in a while. So now we're talking about Brian. Brian has a boat workshop and marina, and he smuggles drugs, and his boat business serves as the front to launder money and do this dirty business. It seems to me that Brian is actually a good friend of Jason. He lets him live rent-free in one of his properties, and he also has a wife, Lori. In this shot we can see Brian in a white Hawaiian shirt with glasses on his head. He has a white brick in his hand, which is basically some type of drugs. I'm not sure which one, but it doesn't really matter because we understand the context here. And in this shot, he's talking to one of his workers about delivering the stuff. So in this shot, we can see Brian and Jason in a bulletproof vest. This shot actually looks like real life. It's pretty close to it. Again, look at the reflections on the glasses, the dirt on the windows, the car interior, and the textures overall just look absolutely amazing. Right here we can see Brian on a pier, drinking some beers, having a good time. He's rocking a black tank top with watch, a bandana. In this shot we can see Lager beer, Lavazza's beer, and another that I cannot identify. In this final screenshot we can actually see Jason, Brian and his wife Lori. Brian handing a pistol to Jason, and Jason has a longer hair and longer beard in this shot. And I believe that Jason and Brian are in very good conditions, and maybe, just maybe, Brian is like a father to Jason. I mean, in some way, shape or form. And that's all the characters we've seen so far from the new GTA 6 screenshots. Each one adds something unique to the Vice City vibe, and I cannot wait to see how they fit into the full story. Let me know in the comments which character you are most hyped for. I'll be breaking down all the new locations and environments shown in the screenshots in my next video, so stay tuned and make sure you are subscribed. I'll see you in the next one.